clearly it's been a long day for me, so I decided to let's make another video. Oh man. So as I'm driving to make my delivery to my client, because I do wood burning portraits, as I'm driving, I'm starting to think about how parents and kids, I'm starting to think about the relationship between parents and kids. And a lot of common things I see. As soon as that child turns from a child to a teenager, we decide to, okay, the parent, I did my job, person, they're alive, they can feed themselves, they're self-sufficient. But they're really not. But the child, the teenager is not looking for someone to be overbearing and a helicopter mom or dad. The teenager doesn't need that anymore. Just because the teenager doesn't need that anymore does not mean that you just stop being a parent at all. You have to hit a different level of parenting, and it's different and it's difficult if you know you're so used to, I got to keep them safe, that safe mentality, or I'm so used to doing everything for them. That will damage them too. You can't do everything for your kids, you know, and pretend like we live in this white picket fence, beautiful American dream home kind of life, when that's not realistic. Come on, guys, that's not realistic. So this is my thought. I feel like teenagers get the worst of it, right? Because you're not quite children. You don't need to have supervision all the time, but you're not quite like the adults where you start kicking them out of your house. So you start helping them look for, you know, trying to move into the real world. Teenagers get it the worst because they're going through the hormones, right? And they're trying to still figure out who they are. Obviously, we all are. It took me 35 years. And I think that's a very vulnerable time that you need to have with your teenagers. My son is 14, going into high school. And I told him, you're gonna do better than me. That is my goal as a parent. I don't know what my parents' goals were as a parent towards us, but I know for me, my goal is my child is going to do better than me. I'm not going to be in competition with my child. No. I am not going to compare my stats in high school and how I did to my child. Why would we want to be in comparison with our kids? Our kids are supposed to be our prodigy, you know, like you proud of them. They're going to be better than you, right? So you lift them up and you water them with all those words of encouragement, you know, and the support that you didn't get when you were, especially me. I mean, I did not get support when I was in high school. I mean, if I did it, well, things would obviously have been different for me. But I learned that support is important. It's important. It helps, you know, grow that relationship between that parent and the teenager. If we're constantly nagging our kids and, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, and you gotta do this, you know, like, and then saying, well, you shouldn't have done that, like, or, you know, like talking down to them, that is not support. That is comparing them. That is like borderline codependency behavior. You're trying to control them too much. They don't need control at this point, okay? Because what control does when you're a parent and you try to control, your children or your teenagers are going to rebel you. They're going to do the exact opposite. What you're trying to do now is to guide. Okay, give them options. Don't try to control, because the rebel will happen. Trust me, I am a product of rebellion. I rebelled against my parents. They tried to tell me to do one thing. I was like, nope, I'm going to do this. I ran away from home. I did all this crazy stuff. You know, I dabbled in all sorts of things because there was some control that was pushed on me and I didn't like it. So I went in the far other direction. So obviously I found my way back. But it took me 35 years to recognize who I am, what I enjoy, you know what I mean, and the power of options. So I am trying to give my son options, staying in touch and communicating with him, options, to build that parent-teenager relationship. A lot of relationships between the parents start to break off at this time period, and that results in suicide. That results in kids getting really bad into drugs, or meeting up with somebody and, you know, losing their virginity and stuff like that. So it's very important to stay engaged with your kid, with your teenagers. The phones are easily a distraction. Still gotta monitor them on their phones. Yeah, I never had that support as a parent, as a child. When I was younger, I was definitely, for lack of a better word, kind of like neglected. And I refuse to do that to my child. But I also refuse to try to be a helicopter mom, try to control every move, try to push him in every sport, or push him to something that he does not enjoy. For once, I am listening to my son and I am allowing him to choose if he wants to do a sport, if he doesn't want to do a sport. Does he really want to do this, or is he doing this for me? I ask him these questions. It's important to ask your kids these questions. Build that relationship and it will better you in the future. You will build that teenager up. You will set them the course for their future, their adulthood, and just give them that support. Support doesn't mean like endless amounts of money. Like everybody thinks, oh, you need to have money to have that support. No, you need those words of encouragement. Because when that money's gone, then what, right? We have so many people in poverty. Everybody is just scrambling for dollars, you know what I mean? And then we get so hyper fixated on, I don't have money to support my kids. No, you have, your words are supportive. You need to believe in them. You need to put faith in them that your children will be better than you. They will turn out better than you did. And be proud, because then the generations on and on will just, it will just get better, evolve, you know? So please show those words of encouragement. Talk to those teenagers. They still need you. In this world of distractions, they still need their parents. It's so important. With that being said, I'm gonna let everybody go. I'm finally getting home. It's 8 o'clock at night. It's been a long day. And I will fill you guys in on more.